I'd like to call the Region 15 Board of Education meeting to order. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Student representatives?
Hi everybody. So I'd like to start with the National French exam, which occurred this Wednesday, March 11th at PHS. And so the test is open to grades 9 through 12, and each grade will get a different version of the test depending on their ability, because obviously the freshmen aren't going to know as much about the French language as the seniors will. So the tests test your reading, grammar, and listening skills. So overall, you're able to get a good idea of how you fall in understanding the language. And your score is based on national ranking, so you're able to really comprehend how well you are doing compared to everyone in the rest of the country. And so another event that was recently held at PHS was the debate tournament, which was held this past Saturday, March 7th. And so many different debate teams from different schools were able to get together and have a good time and really just debate. And so recently, the Scholastic Art Awards, the winners were announced, and so prizes and scholarships were distributed at the Scholastic Art Awards ceremony at the University of Hartford on January 25th. So Pomperaug this year had 5 winners, and so that's a lot of winners. Usually it's like 1 or 2. So it's a really great honor, and there were 3 honorable mentions, 1 Silver Key Award, and 1 Gold Key Award, and the Gold Key Award is the highest recognition you can get, and that was won by Ginny Famano for a colored pencil drawing of her swimming teammates' hands that were intertwined. One event that is coming up at Pomperaug is the district-wide String Festival, and that will be held at the PHS Auditorium at 7 o'clock on March 19th. And another event that is being held soon is the PHS Sophomore Class Run with the Panthers 5K, and this is the 3rd annual 5K, which was actually started our sophomore year. And this begins at 9 o'clock on March 21st. And it's really just a great way to come and support the sophomore class. It's a great way for them to raise money, and the community can all get involved because it's really fun to either run it or walk it, and there's also many prizes being handed out, so it's a great overall experience.
Hello. So the winter sports season is coming to an end here at Pomperaug. The girls varsity basketball lost by a couple of points in the semifinals to New Fairfield. Last Saturday, the girls cheerleading team placed 9th out of 21, moving up 8 spaces from last year, so that's very good for them. At the New England Indoor Track Championship that I talked about last meeting, the team of the 4x800 racers finished 8th, and that was a team of Sarah Tarasio, Michaela Meyer, Allison Meyer, and Lindsay Scott, so they finished 8th overall in their category. And then the permission forms for the spring sports are due this week, and that's for the spring track, boys and girls tennis, baseball, lacrosse, and golf. So those are due to the main office this week. As far as scholarships go, a lot of them have been posted to the PHS website, and those being the local and then national scholarships, and they are under the counseling department. There's dozens of local scholarships ranging from a couple $100s to many thousands of dollars, and that would really help with the high cost of college. The local scholarships are due to the guidance office by March 24th, no later than that date, and you have to make sure that you keep on checking back every day because more scholarships are being added, and it doesn't make sense not to apply to them. There were a couple of presentations in late February, so 2 weeks ago. So on February 25th, 4 high school students went down to both of the middle schools to talk about the Academy of Digital Arts and Sciences. That's a program that we run here inside of the school, and we have everyone from freshmen all the way to seniors in the academy. It's the first graduating class. So they went down to talk to the kids and tell them how good of a program it is and how good it looks for college and how it helps them prepare for the future. And then on February 26th, which is the day after that, there was an informational meeting held for the parents of the middle school students to help them learn more about the program and help more people sign up, because it is a good program. I myself am in it, and I have realized that it has helped me a lot to prepare for the future. That's all for today.
Thank you. Any questions of the student representatives?
I just had a question about the French testing that you talked about. When do students see the results of that?
I don't actually know that.
Do you know, Kelly? Yeah.
I don't know, but I do know it's before the school year ends.
I would be interested in seeing what those results look like if we could. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Presentation, student recognition, Mrs. Spotsford, please.
Mrs. Perry and members of the Board of Education and family and community at home and here present with us this evening. Earlier this year, we had been privileged to announce the names of our 2 National Merit semifinalists, Lucy Jang and Samuel R. Slajewski. This evening, we are even more privileged to welcome Lucy Jang and Samuel R. Slajewski, who are here with their families tonight, and to announce that they are National Merit finalists. They were chosen. I see some applause, so I will appropriately pause for applause. Lucy and Samuel were chosen because they have demonstrated through distinguished performance their high potential for future academic performance. As measured by their performance in school, on the SAT, and on the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, which was the PSAT. Lucy and Samuel now are competing for college scholarships, which will be announced in April, not too far away, May, and July. Lucy and Samuel, we are very proud of you, and we would ask you to come forward to shake the hands of all the board members, and when you are here, we have a certificate to give to you. Please come forward so that we can all applaud you again. And there they go, off to their college scholarship competition.
Okay, approval of minutes. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 23rd regular meeting, please?
Motion to approve the February 23rd regular meeting minutes.
Is there any additions, omissions, or corrections? There being none, all in favor? Any opposed? And 1 abstention. Okay, could I have a motion to approve the minutes of the executive session on February 23rd? Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any additions, omissions, or corrections? There being none, all in favor? Any opposed? 1 abstention. Thank you. Information and proposals. Mr. Babrick is not with us this evening. Is there anything to report? Okay. Policies and Curriculum Committee, Steve?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's also been no meeting of PNC since the last full board meeting. The next PNC meeting is March 23rd at 6 p.m. here at the high school in the Media Center. And there are 2 textbooks for first presentation tonight in the packet. Thank you.
Thank you. Other committee reports, PTO Advisory Council? The weather is taking its toll on all these committees. Board member comments? Any comments for board members? Okay, there being none. Superintendent's report.
The board has the personnel report, and also on the agenda you will see a staffing report, and for me to show that I just need to go over to the projector and take the cover off the lens. Okay, there are paper copies of this available as well if they're easier to read off paper. But I thought it might be helpful at this point in the year to look at how we go about planning our staffing from one year to the next. So the table that you're looking at is January 1st enrollment by grade and by school. So you'll see in the columns, these are the grade levels that go across the top. These are the number of classrooms in each grade level. This particular section is at Long Meadow. Each classroom has 1 teacher. This is the average class size in each of the classrooms. And this is the total number of students at that grade level. So, of course, an 18.75 would mean that we have 4 sections which have 18, 19, 19, and 19 students. Our class size guidelines are just that. They're guidelines. They are not absolute maximum. So when we plan from year to year, we do plan to look for possible efficiencies, and we also plan to look to make sure that student needs can be met. So for example, if one were to look at, let's just take this one. We have a class average size of 19.75. This is the current 4th grade at Long Meadow. Next year that class will be going to 5th grade. One might ask the question, if we have a total of 79 students, might it be possible to teach 79 students in 3 sections rather than the current 4? And if we did that arithmetic and did the division, we would get 3 sections of, let's see, it looks like, I believe it comes out to 26, 26, and 27. That's larger than what our class size guideline is. And although some of us, maybe some of us, might remember going to school in classes that big, it would not be good practice for us to do that now. Teaching is no longer one size fits all. Teachers have students working in groups, doing different things, and they are expected, and they do give students individual attention to maximize learning. We also may want to look at, still in the same column at Long Meadow, we have an average class size of 15.4 in the current 1st grade. That is a place where we can take an efficiency next year. So that group of students moving into 2nd grade next year, rather than having 5 classrooms, will have 4 classrooms next year, putting the class size at 19, 19, 19, and 20, and that is within our class size guideline. Okay? So that's one less teaching position that we will have next year. Now, before I go on, I just want to mention that we're talking about positions, we're not talking about people. So this example does not necessarily mean that a first grade teacher at Long Meadow will not return next year. Those decisions are governed by contract and they're not for public discussion. Okay, this is about positions, not people. Let's take a look at PES. And if I look at PES, you'll see that they currently in this year have 4 classes of 5th grade. Those 5th graders will be graduating to middle school next year. The cohort of students at PES coming from 3rd grade to 4th grade, whoops, sorry. Okay. No, it's not liking it when I use the cursor. Okay, I won't touch it. The cohort of students in grade 4 at PES moving to 5th grade next year, we will be able to have 3 sections next year in 5th grade at PES because we have that larger group graduating into middle school. So that is a second teaching position reduction. Okay? Now, before we leave elementary, I said before that we look for efficiencies and we also look to make sure that student needs can be met appropriately. So looking from the other lens, if we look at Gainfield, that's the section that says GES, the current 3rd grade, which moves to 4th grade next year, is actually 3 classes of 24, 24, and 25. You'll see that that's a little bit bigger than what we like to have by our guidelines. There's not enough students to make a 4th section, but there's more than one way for us to solve a potential problem. So what we will be doing is we will be providing a part-time teacher funded by a grant, so there is no additional cost within the budget, and that part-time teacher will provide some extra support and extra instruction in those 3 classes. That's a technique that we use if and when we need it, and it's a way that we can be efficient and also meet student needs at the same time. Now let's talk about middle school and high school. Okay. At the middle school and high school, of course, students take different courses with different teachers, so I can't lay out the numbers in quite the same way, but we certainly can look at the number of students coming in and the number of students graduating out. So if we look at, let's see if I can point with this again. If we look at Long Meadow and Middlebury Elementary feeding into Memorial Middle School, Memorial Middle School will be graduating out 154 8th graders. Coming in will be 82 incoming 6th graders and 72 incoming 6th graders. And though if you do all the arithmetic there, the net result there is 0. So we will maintain the current level of staffing at Memorial. If we look at the same kind of analysis for Rochambeau, Rochambeau is graduating 188 students, and coming in, we have 74 and 95. I'm sorry, is it, you know where to look? It's just, it's a little tricky. If we do the arithmetic there, that is, that's 19 students fewer, actually, but we have to remember that those 19 students are not all in the same place. Middle school students, even in 6th grade, take different math classes. They take different languages. So that reduction of 19 students is not sufficient to reduce staff at this time. Now at middle school and high school, our students are not yet scheduled into their classes for next year. That's work that will be beginning soon, but it's not complete yet. Once the scheduling is done, we do routinely look at staffing needs yet again. But right now, we need to move on the information that we have in front of us right now. When we look at the high school will be graduating 287 seniors, and coming in will be 154 eighth graders from Memorial and 188 eighth graders from Rochambeau. We tend to have, over the past few years, we usually have about 10% of our eighth graders who choose to go to a parochial school, could be a magnet school, a vocational school, or a private school. So if we take out the 10% and we do the arithmetic on who's coming in and who's going out, we wind up with 21 additional students at the high school for next year. Currently, and I believe for many years, English teachers at PHS have had an instructional period for writing conferences. Next year, we will continue to offer writing conferences, but we will schedule them more efficiently, and that will allow us to reduce one teaching position at the high school. So that's a total of the 3 teaching position reductions that I had proposed when I gave the budget presentation at the last meeting. And that's the information.
Any questions of Mrs. Botsford?
I don't have a question tonight, but I do appreciate you bringing this information forward tonight. It's very helpful.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you. Comments from citizens? There being none, we have no old business. There is no new business requiring board action. So I come to announcement of future meeting dates. The Finance and Facilities Committee has been rescheduled to March 25th at Central Office at 5:30. Thursday, March 19th will be the Board Budget Workshop at the Media Center at 7 o'clock at the high school. And our next board meeting will be on March 23rd in this room, 103, at 7:30. Could I have a motion to adjourn, please? Oh, wait.
Madam Chair, we're just going to try and, just as a heads up, we're going to try and schedule a second budget workshop prior to the 19th. But we're just doing some logisticals. We're shooting for Tuesday the 17th, but we want to check everyone's calendar so if people can get back to us tomorrow. This way we would have 2 prior to the 23rd. So that's what we're working on now.
Thank you. Okay, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Meeting adjourned.